Hey guys, it's John from Oz General Store. You know what time it is, it's time for another video. This time, I thought we'd do something different. I've got the Holdens, I've got the Fords, I've got the Chryslers. How many cars do I actually have? Geez, I don't even know sometimes. But I'm a person that buys and never really sells. I've collected things for cheap over the years. I'll put it to one side. All my stuff is not show car quality. I've accumulated a fair amount of stuff. Would I try to make things sort of OEM plus? Maybe. But basically, I just enjoy different makes and models of cars. I want to sort of experience all of them, and I appreciate all of them. So that brings me to today's video, where we're going to talk about a Japanese car. We're talking about a 1992 R32 GTST, that thing over there. The most amount of street cred that I've ever got is actually in this car from high school students, because they love JDM cars. They've grown up with Fast and the Furious, they've seen it, they drool over it, it's their dream car. And rightly so, these cars are incredible. The Holden and Fords, you get the thumbs up from the old blokes, but this thing here gets a lot of attention. It was about 2 years ago that I bought this car, and I bought it at a time where I thought maybe it was already expensive, but of course the prices have increased dramatically, especially Toyota Supras and the like. I bought this car the same time I bought the XD Falcon, and the story goes that I had my daily driver, which was a Toyota Hilux. I sold it, got rid of it. You know, it was a good car, but it had to go. And then I went to go look at this car, and this car was across town in a city, and the guy just wanted to get rid of it, sort of thing. I made an offer and he didn't accept it. Fair enough. I didn't lowball him. I just thought, oh, this was a fair price to pay on this particular vehicle. He said no, so I said, all right, no worries. And then I saw the XD on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, and I jumped on that, and that was only about 4 grand. This thing was over 10 grand, but you know, rightly so. Anyway, so I'd already committed to the XD and I had taken delivery of it. And then the guy called and he said he would accept my offer. Geez, damn. So combined, this car and the XD was more than the price that I got from the Hilux. So I had to scramble and secure this purchase. I could have let it go, I was very close to, but I thought, out of all of the Japanese cars, I really do like the shape and styling of the R32. If there was one I was going to get, it was going to be this one, and it just so happened to be the original colour, being gunmetal grey. I'm not going to go into too much of the history of the R32 Skyline. It's been covered infinitum. You can check it out on YouTube. If you type in R32 Skyline, there's going to be far better presenters than me, and better factual information. What we're going to talk about today is my car, and what's wrong with it, what I like about it, and where we're going to go from here. Let's not get mixed up. This R32 needs some work, and the first thing that I sort of look through when I look at this car is that it has had a respray into original gunmetal grey. But if you look closely along the body line, especially on the bonnet, and I'll point them out, there's a few dings where they haven't sanded properly. Rubbers need to be replaced. This seal here needs to be replaced as well. See how it's cracking off? And that is normal, that goes after a while. Let's keep going around here. The back windscreen hasn't been put on properly, so that mold is a bit how you're going. That needs to be painted, and same with the front. There used to be a spoiler at the back. I could see holes where they've tried to fill. And I mean, the more you look with these kind of cars, the more you find. So if you wanted to restore this to OEM plus, it would take a long time. Let's keep going. Side mirror is from a different car. Could be an S13. I've taken off the door trims, and the connections are different. So either I change the connections or I get the right side mirror. That needs to be painted. It's got a sunroof, which is quite rare for the car. It works, it goes up, and it doesn't go back down. So I just leave it like this all the time, and I learned the hard way, because I got it up, couldn't get it down. It's got aftermarket rims, they look all right. Discs all around, I think. Genuine Nissan caliper. Random tires to slide around when it's wet, like this morning when I was driving it. Why do you think it's so dirty? None of the exhaust has been changed except the rear muffler, and you've got this big old thing in here. X-Force. Ooh. Tail lights had a problem this morning. My battery was flat. Do you know why? The little rubber grommet that actuates the lights has been stuck on. So when I'm driving, my brake lights just stay on the whole time. My brakes work, which is a plus. Hey! It's one of those things that This particular car, I believe everybody's had a play. It's been like a town bicycle before I got it. Who knows what's happened to this car? But what I do know is that I bought it for one particular reason, and that's because the engine is stock, which I'll show you in just a second. This is why I bought the car. Because it's stock. And it's really, really rare to get one that has been modified. What I see from a lot of these cars, R32, R33, blah, 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 Supra, they have like a one bit of chrome like here. It's like a $20 part, and then they don't replace everything else to make it like look exactly the same. Every time I see inside of a bonnet of one of these cars, one bit of chrome, maybe some blue leads. No, you're doing it all wrong. If you're gonna do it, you go all the way. Otherwise, you leave it stock like this. Let's talk about some of the work that I've done to the car to get it into roadworthy condition. Okay, so let's just talk simple things. So I've changed the filter in the airbox. I've cleaned out a lot of the gunk in the inside of the car. I've taken off the rocker cover and I've changed the coils to Spitfire. Now, I believe this particular rocker cover here traps a lot of heat. And guys, leave a comment below, but I think the main cause of it misfiring under boost load is because it heats up in that little area. When I removed this cover and I went for a drive and I gave it some, I didn't have an issue. So I'm not quite sure exactly what the go is with that. But a lot of the wiring, I've changed the shields and it was all really, really crusty. You gotta remember, this is a 1992 car, so when things go wrong, chances are a lot's gonna go wrong with the car, and you just keep on chasing until you eventually either run out of money, you get the shits, or you finally fix it. And that's what's happened here. I've fixed it, but I've sort of felt that I wanted to have a bit of a break, getting all the little intricate things done. I got it driving nicely. You know, when I feel up to it, I'm going to finish the rest of the car. I've got the negative terminal unhooked because I don't want to get another flat battery because of the brake issue. I replaced most of the fuses and these fuses here. Just little odds and ends, it all sort of adds up. We've done a full flush of the fluids and everything, so she runs fine. My plans are to keep it stock. I quite like it. Maybe I'll add an intercooler, but I don't really want to cut up anything at the front there. So this car does not even have an intercooler. It's just stock, super stock. What's in the boot, you ask? Let's have a bit of a squizzy. Okay, I got the carpet. I've got all the other pieces. I haven't put it down here. Again, I do wrench on this car. So you got some of my tools there, Bunnings receipts, everything like that. Now there was an issue with the fuel pump, which is really, really common. Basically, it's hard to start. It'll keep cranking, and then what will happen is it'll start, but then be running like a bag of shit, and then it'll find its sort of, find its feet. It'll rev right up and rev down and then settle. So what we did to make this car run a little bit better is we actually added another earth to the fuel pump, and we also changed the fuel pump as well. I won't lift that up because I don't want to mess with it, but we changed the fuel pump, added an earth, and it seems to work just fine now. Again, guys, this is a really realistic review of, you know, an old JDM car. This is what you would expect if you bought one in today's market. Even though the prices are quite high, and I'm telling you, all of them have been played with. You know, this car's probably had like 10 owners before me. Here you can see some overspray. That will come off. That's just a lot of elbow grease and all that stuff like that. It's like they didn't backmask anything or protect it from getting oversprayed. They just went, they masked maybe a little bit and they went and send it. All right, so what have I done in here? Well, I've stripped the whole car. I had to get some new seat belts. I also changed the carpet, and I put Dynamat on the bottom for sound protection. And that was a fun job. Not really, it was hard to climb into the back, but I got it done. Look, let's talk about things that I could do to improve it to perhaps OEM plus. I could probably change the rear view mirror. Can't pronounce it, because it's all sort of like, you know, crappy. I put in this double din. It doesn't quite work. I can't find a surround to hide that piece there, so I'm probably going to change that to something else. I've changed that to Nismo from just an eBay part because I could, and Nismo floor mats. You'll notice the steering wheel is actually an R33 steering wheel. It just came with the car, and you can sort of tell, like as soon as I got the car, and I had a good look, I knew that people had been playing because all the wiring underneath, I mean, it's all how you're going. So really it does need rectification. I can tell here that some of these plastic parts have been snapped off. The reason why that happens is that people push down, and I won't do it because it's happened to me already. You push that down and it unseats itself and sticks in, and then people get like a little screwdriver or something and they try to pull it back up, and then that's why this chip's here. But everything works, we got it functional. My mechanic and I wrenched on it. I did a lot of the shit work and cosmetic work to make it look good, and he did all the really shit stuff like underneath the car. So there's more to do. I know that the Hikers isn't working very well. If you guys know what that is, I don't care to explain it. I'm missing a button there, I'm missing a few bits and pieces. Really, I just have to go on eBay and pay an extortionary amount to get that part in, and then it should be good. Let's go for a drive. So that's the fuel pump. All right, so we're idling about 1,000. It's gonna drop down as it warms up a little bit. Let's go for a drive, hey? Sideways and crab it down. So this particular car's got an RB20 DET. It's considered the baby of the RB motors, but it drives fine. It's beautiful to drive. It's sporty, it's racy when you want it. It makes cool little turbo whooshy noises. And when it's running right, you fall in love with it all over again. It's a 5-speed manual. It's got all the gears you want. It's quite a modern car, but it's still got that sort of that rawness about it. You know, if you want to push it, you can. If you want to putt along, you can as well. Zippy, this car. You can swing it around corners if you have good tyres, that is, or maybe you want bad tyres or you want to slide around. What a blast. It makes you fall in love with this thing over and over again. As you can see, I've got a brake issue there. The lights just stay on, so I've got to get a little rubber grommet. I guess it's back to the drawing board and we've got to keep wrenching on this thing. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. We love feedback. What do you guys want to see? Let us know. Cheers.